EduKumustahan 2023 series, a joint program for mental health awareness and educational webinar series, headed by the College of Teacher Education, College of Student Government, supported by our CTE administration, faculty and staff, and 8 accredited academic organizations will be once united in this afternoon state. Now, without any further delay, given this third day of May 2023, live on Zoom, this is the hashtag EduKumustahan Webinar 5. Building an analytical mindset, maximizing online resources, effective for pedagogical research in 21st century. We would like to start this program with an opening prayer followed with the national anthem and the error to be fixed, allow me to share our gratitude to the following. To our ever-supported Dean, Ma'am Jocelyn B. Pagkasma, and as well as to our program heads, Sir Joey C. Oliveros, BS Ed Program Head, to Ma'am Charmaine B. Banyes, the B.Ed, BS NED, BSED Program Head, Sir Jonald J. Versano, the BPE Program Head, and to all our faculty staff, once again, maraming salamat po. Ayun, i-check muna natin yung ating mga participants. Let me see if naka-rename na po ba ang lahat. Wait a minute. Ayun, meron ng representative from the House of Agents. May taga-BEd. Meron na ding taga-YIST, Elite, Samafil, UMOFED, Agent. Ayun, wala pa po ako nakikitang ilustrado. UMTCMS. CSG representatives, please do remind your organizations and invite them to join to our webinar 5. Yon, it's a lovely Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Filipino time. It's time for another episode of Hashtag EduKumustahan 2023 series, a joint program for mental health awareness and educational webinar series, headed by the College of Teacher Education, College Student Government, supported by our city administration, faculty and staff, and 8 accredited academic organizations will be once united in a new setting but the same experience. Now, without any further delay, given this third day of May 2023 live on Zoom, this is the Edu Kumustahan Webinar 5, Building an Analytical Mindset, Maximizing Online Resources for effective pedagogical research in 21st century. We would like to start this program with an opening prayer and please remain. Be followed by the national anthem and the hymn.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times you have offended you. Continue to guide and protect us, Lord. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with prayer and intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. اللهم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اللهم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اللهم وحد صفوفنا بين المسلمين والنصارى واللوماد إلى صراطك المستقيم اللهم امنحهم العيش بالأمن والسلامة والتنمية المستدامة في مدينة دافاو اللهم لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amoy nen manama kami gimot tolangon, manotod kakaroson no, si koikaw kaming dokul tolangon, huway migtumpi totano, si koikaw kaming bohoy to kopianan tolangon na maotaw, pusako kapusuno, kana akong to pabulos koy, o agbuyo koy ko, huwag bohoy kat pabur, kahalaan, kalinaw, to kanami, no pag-ugpo, huwag kasabok kakoy, oyod kalambu. Kay kuro tamana kakodin panubad, huwag pag-ampo, kaupianan igbohoy no, huwag kakoy kong imono, huwag kahalaan ko lang.
Bayang magiliw pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting sa manlulupig. Di ka pasisingil sa dagat at bundok, sa simuya, sa langit mong bagha. May dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niyang kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng wala di pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Yon, Excellencies, dearest guests. yan, madyaw na kandag kamayo ubos. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang buhay, CTE! Wolves, it is our pleasure to welcome you to the University of Mindanao College of Teacher Education presents the hashtag EduKumustahan 2023 webinar series with a theme expanding support for students' mental health and excellence in education. Learn and be amazed. Let's witness together this year's five, ika-5 na topic of our webinar series. And to welcome us, let me call on our CTE-CSG President, Mr. Neilbert Rather. Let's give him a massive round of applause.
Thank you for that, Ami. On behalf of our College of Teacher Education Dean, Dr. Jocelyn Bacasmot, our dynamic program heads, starting with BS Ed Program Head, Sir Joey C. Oliveros, our BS Ed, BSc Ed, and BE Ed Program Head from Charmaine V. Banyas, of course, to our BPE Program Head, Sir Junal J. Bersan, to our participants, to my co-officers, and of course to our dearest guest speaker from Luzon, Sir Jerome Turil. Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure that I welcome you to the EduKumustahan 2023's fifth webinar entitled Building an Analytical Mindset, Maximizing Online Resources for Effective Pedagogical Research in 21st Century. So you know, the world of research is ever evolving, and in today's age of technology, online resources play a significant role in research. This webinar, in line with our KRA objective in the student government for promoting student activities that would enhance student development. This webinar aims to equip students and aspiring researchers with the skills that they need to navigate this vast and constantly changing landscape. We understand the significance of research in the academic career, and with the advancement of technology, it is essential to know how to utilize online resources effectively. So by attending this webinar, you will learn various techniques and tools to maximize your research output. Well, in the next few hours, we will delve into the topic with our resource speaker, and he will share his insights and knowledge to help us become more skilled researcher. And we will have the opportunity to learn from the expert and, of course, connect with the expert from the field. And before I will end my speech, I encourage all the participants to engage actively in this webinar, to ask questions and share your thoughts. Together, we can explore the latest trends, tools, and techniques to help us succeed in our academic and research endeavors. So without further ado, let us embark on this exciting journey of learning and discovery. And thank you all for joining us today. And I hope you find this webinar both informative and enjoyable. Thank you.
Yon, thank you very much, Mr. President. Before to dive down to the most exciting part of our webinar journey today, atin namang i-check ang mga battery ng ating mga magigiting na academic organizations. Send your lots of reactions sa ating comment section below once matatawag po ang inyong respective organization. And for sure, ready na ang lahat na 8 organizations. So let's start it right away. Mag-ingay, kupunan ng yeast. Saan ba yung mga yeast dito? Yan, may nakikita na ako mga naka-heart. Moving on. Moving on to you, Muped. Magpapahuli ba ang UMTCMS? How about ang Sama Feel? Yan. Napakarami rin Sama Feel natin, oh. How about Ilustrado? Nasaan naman ang taga-elite? Uy, yan. Dami din ng elites, oh. How about ang ating taga-asnesium? And of course, ang taga-agent. I really love the cooperation coming from the 8th academic organization. Randam na randam ang support and cooperation ng College of Teacher Education. Use the hashtag ganyan dapat CTE. Kaya wag din natin pang patagalin pa to. Let's start it on. Allow me to call our CTE-CSG President to formally introduce to you our valued speaker. Press.
All right, thank you, Ami, and it's good to be back for a while now. Our guest speaker he graduated from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines with a degree in Bachelor of Secondary Education, majoring in English. He completed his Master's of Arts in Education, majoring in Educational Management at Olivares College, and his Doctor of Educational degree, majoring in Educational Management at the Philippine Christian University. He was a former college instructor and NSTP coordinator at STI College Parañaque, and a former senior high school coordinator and assistant principal at STI College Makati. He is also a researcher, motivational and resource speaker for different topics in the field of education, and a member officer of the International English Language Teachers Association. He has presented research in national and international platforms and has published a book on practical research too, and he has also co-authored modules of arts and humanities, custom post-clearance audit and fraud management, and procurement and inventory management. Previously, Dr. Triel was a college professor, assistant quality management representative, and concurrent head of the research and development of the Philippines Merchant Marine School before becoming part of the pamantasan ng lungsod ng Muntinlupa as a college and graduate school professor. Currently, he is part of the St. Dominic College of Asia teaching graduate school and taking a Master of Arts in Education, major in English Education at the National University, Calamba. Without further ado, please help me welcome our guest speaker for this afternoon's webinar. Let us give him a warm welcome of virtual applause, no other than Dr. Jerome S. Turil.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, boss.
Okay. Kasi I thought my microphone is having a problem because in my previous classes with the graduate school, I can't use my microphone. That's why I'm hesitant of using the built-in microphone of my laptop. And I'm so glad that I am audible. And I would like to thank the University of Mindanao for inviting me as your resource speaker for this topic about the maximizing online resources for effective research. I know that that you in your generation are already tech savvy. Okay, since you are all tech savvy, I know that you are already familiar with everything that I will say and everything or the applications or even the online resources where you can get different literature and studies which will be helpful for your research paper. Okay, so I will also be tackling about the background of research, but not only research, but specifically action research, which is the most common research which is being conducted inside the classroom. Okay, and I have seen in the College of Education that, especially in your case, in your program, that you are all indulged in conducting action researches. Okay, because I am also from the College of Teacher Education from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, but it is only now that the action research is flourishing, not only in a particular school, but in all schools, especially in the public school where the in-service teachers are already giving their services for the children of today. Okay, so action research is now flourishing. Unlike before, that action research or the research itself are being taken for granted, but now it's already flourishing, and you are all indulged, you are all delved into using the action research, or you are into exploring the different issues, problems, and the technicalities when it comes to the different problems of education or of the educational system. Okay, so thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, and I would like also to thank again the Central Student Government of the University of Mindanao, especially to the College of Teacher Education for inviting me here. And it is a can I say that it is just an accident that I was invited by your school, and actually I was just so thrilled. Can I say I was so thrilled? I was aghast. I was surprised with the invitation, and luckily that I have prepared for this kind of seminar that I will be providing you today. So thank you so much, especially to the president of the student government. Thank you so much for your effort of sending me invitation, of sending me the poster, even late at night. You have sent me the poster. So thank you so much again. Okay, so let's proceed with our discussion. And if you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask. So we could make clarifications, or we could make some explanations with regard to some technicalities or some concepts when it comes to the research, or especially with action research. Okay. I can share my screen. Okay, thank you. Okay, so maximizing online resources for effective pedagogical research in the 21st century. So here in this topic, it's not only that I will be giving you background on what action research is or what research is, but I will also be giving you some websites on where are you going to see or where are you going to go to if you are looking for resources such as for the related literature and related studies, especially local, because the most difficult thing to do is to look for local literature and local studies. Actually, the trend of today when it comes to research is that we are not separating the local literature to the local studies, because before, the practice when it comes to the local or the review of related literature and studies, we are doing it as a mix. We are separating the local literature to the local studies from the foreign literature and the foreign studies. Tama? Yan ang ginagawa natin. We are separating all of those. But now, in the current trend, when it comes to the research, we are already mixing both the local and foreign literature, even the local and the foreign studies. Pinagsasama-sama na natin siya. And we are separating the local literature, local studies, the foreign literature, and the foreign studies based on themes. That's why we already have the so-called thematic approach when it comes to the review of related literature and studies. Now, most of us, we do not want to continue doing research. Most of us, or some of you, even I, in my case before, I do not want to conduct research. I do not want to take up my master's degree with a thesis writing. Kasi ako, ang gusto ko lang before, when I took up my master's degree, ang gusto ko lang, non-thesis lang ako. Kasi ayoko mag-thesis. Una sa lahat, it will consume a lot of time when you write research, right? Secondly, it's very hard to look for resources. It's very hard to look for local and foreign literature, local and foreign studies. It's very hard because you have to go to a lot of places. You have to go to a lot of libraries just to look for sources. Pangatlo, it's very expensive because you have to spend. When you are conducting research, you cannot produce an output if you do not have money because you have to spend. Okay? So those are the three primary reasons why I do not want to take up thesis. And then, syempre, natatakot ako, nung panahon na yun takot ako sa defense. Yan ang kinatatakutan ko. Kaya ayokong mag-thesis writing kasi natatakot ako sa defense. Okay? Natatakot akong tanungin kasi una sa lahat, baka pag tinanong ako, hindi ko masagot yung tanong. Kaya ayoko ng thesis writing. But when I am already in the process of thesis writing, I found out that thesis writing is not that hard. It's not that difficult. Basta lang paglaanan mo ng panahon, paglaanan mo lang ng oras, kailangan yung dedication and passion mo when it comes to writing your thesis paper, when it comes to writing your research is there, you will be able to finish it on time. Okay? You will just finish it on time and make sure ito yung pinaka-importante. You have to make sure that your resources, that your respondents or the participants of the study are already accessible. Why? Because if the respondents, if the participants, or if your resources are not accessible, it will be hard for you to include them in your paper. But once everything is accessible, okay, it will not be hard for you to do it. That is why the pandemic became a blessing in disguise. Why? Why the pandemic became a blessing in disguise? Because of the different limitations given to us by the pandemic, we were able to maximize the use of technology. Tama? We were able to maximize the use of technology. Why? Because we were able to set everything at the tip of our finger. One press, we were able to access all the information that we need. In one press, we were able to send the survey questionnaires to all the respondents of our study. By the use of what? By the use of Google Form, by the use of the Survey Monkey, di ba? Because of the pandemic, hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa iba't ibang lugar just to distribute, just to spread your survey questionnaire, but by the use of the Google Form, but by the use of Survey Monkey, pwede mo nang isend sa mga email nila yung iyong mga survey questionnaire, and then they right there and then they will be able to respond, they will be able to answer the survey questionnaire that you have sent them. Pangalawa, ano pa yung naibigay sa atin ng pandemic? Pangalawa, di ba? Nagamit natin, we were able to maximize the use of the internet when it comes to online resources such as the literature and studies. Kasi nakapag-explore ka ng mga journals, nakapag-explore ka ng mga references, nakapag-explore ka ng mga articles which are really useful when it comes to research writing. But the thing here is, not all the information that you can find in the internet are useful. Not all the information that you can find in the internet are reliable, but some of them are fake. That is why you have to learn how to determine which are real and which are fake news, kumbaga. Okay? You have to learn how to distinguish which are legitimate and which are not. Okay? So yan yung mga ibinigay sa atin ng pandemic. Tinuruan niya tayo on how to maximize the use of technology. Okay, now let's proceed with the topic. I will just give you a background on the use or what research is all about. Okay. So when we are talking about research, that research is described as generation of new knowledge and or making new and innovative use of existing knowledge to produce new ideas, methodologies, and understanding. Okay, so what is the use of research? Why are we conducting research? I remember Senator Villar, tandaan niyo yun? Research kayo ng research. Baliw na baliw kayo sa research. Ako, matalino akong tao, pero hindi ko naiintindihan ang research niyo. Now, the question, if you are not in the medical field, okay, and then you will be reading a research paper which is in the medical field, will you be able to understand it? No. Why? Because it is not your specialization. If a person who is in the medical field will read a research paper which is in the field of education, do you think will they be able to understand what the research paper in education is? No, they don't also they will not also be able to understand it because that is not their specialization. So meaning, hindi mo talaga maiintindihan ang isang bagay kung hindi mo naman specialization yan. Di ba? Siyempre, kung ano ang specialization mo, yun ang babasahin mo. If you specialize in the field of education, you will be reading researches about education. If you are a person in the medical field, the research papers that you will be reading are those researches which are in the medical field. Yun ang babasahin mo kasi yun ang naiintindihan mo eh. Hindi ka pwede magbasa ng mga research paper na hindi mo naman naiintindihan. Kaya wag mong sasabihin na research kayo ng research, baliw na baliw kayo sa research, matalino akong tao, matalino ka nga, pero bakit hindi mo identify na hindi yan ang specialization mo? Tapos sasabihin mo, hindi mo naiintindihan. Diba? Magtaka ka sa sarili mo na specialization mo pero hindi mo naiintindihan. Okay? So research is described based on the definition, generation of new knowledge and or making new and innovative use of existing knowledge to produce what? To produce new idea, methodologies, and understanding. So therefore, research is not only a method of gathering information such as browsing the web or going to a library to gather information, but also a process of gathering information from people and records, among others. And this also includes the organization, review, and interpretation of results. It is also a process of gaining new knowledge regarding an existing phenomenon. So it is not only that you are just browsing the internet, you just type what is the conversion of Philippine peso to US dollar. Hindi research 'yun. Hindi research 'yun. Okay? Yung pumunta ka sa library, tapos naghanap ka ng research do. Naghanap ka ng thesis doon or dissertation doon because you're just looking for a certain information. It's either what you are doing is just scanning or skimming, but that is not research. Okay? Why? Because when you are talking about research, it says here, but it is a process. It is a process of gathering information from people and records among others. As well as what? As well as organization, review, and interpretation of results. Therefore, when you are conducting research, it is not enough that you are just, gathering data. You are just interviewing people. You are just looking for certain information from thesis and dissertations, or even you are looking for a certain or particular information over the net. But you have to interpret whatever results it may provide. Okay? Bakit? Why is there a need for you to interpret? Why is there a need for you to evaluate the results that the gathering of information provided? That is for solving a problem. You are conducting research because there is a problem. You are conducting a research because there is an issue. Okay? That must be solved, especially in the educational system. Sa educational system that we have now, it is very different from the educational system in the other countries. Bakit? Because the curriculum in the Philippines is very congested. Diba? Sa pagiging congested ng educational system in the Philippines, do you think that the students are learning? Out of the many subjects that they have to take, especially in the senior high school, do you think they are learning? Do you think they are able to absorb all the information which are taught to them by teachers? Absolutely not. Because there is a what we call information overload. Hindi naman ang utak ng bata ay hindi yan katulad ng hard drive na pwede mong i-expand kapag kulang pa. 'Di ba? Hindi ganoon ang utak natin. There is a certain limitation to what the brain, what the mind can absorb. Kaya masyadong congested, and that is one of the problems of the educational system of the Philippines that must be solved, and it can only be solved by the use of research. Okay? Now, so according to University of Bristol, that research or action research is a method of systematic inquiry that teachers undertake as researchers of their own practice. The inquiry involved in action research is often visualized as a cyclical process. Okay? Sabi rito, it is a method of systematic. Okay? So remember that one of the characteristics of research is that it is systematic. It is organized. Why? Because it is not like, or it is systematic or organized in a sense that there is a step-by-step process. There are procedures to be followed when we are conducting research. Hindi yung katulad na sinabi ko kanina, hindi siya katulad ng nag-type ka lang sa internet and then you click enter and then all the information that you assume you need are already there. Hindi ganun yon. Okay? But there is a step-by-step process. There are procedures to be followed. Okay? And it says here that action research is often visualized as a cyclical process. Bakit naging cyclical in nature? Bakit sinabi natin na ang action research ay cyclical in nature? Remember that research, one of the characteristics of research is that research is what? Can be replicated. Research can be replicated depending on the environment and depending also on the participants who will respond, okay, who will participate on the research. So it can be replicated depending on the environment and the participants. Now, action research says here that action research is cyclical in nature. Why is that? Action research was known to be cyclical in nature because the first thing, you have to look for a problem. And then secondly, after that you have looked for a problem, you have to reflect on what could be the solution or what could be the intervention that can be done or that can be implemented in order for you to solve that particular issue or particular problem when it comes to the educational system. After that you have implemented, you have to evaluate whether it became successful or not. And then after testing or after evaluating if the output or the action plan or the intervention or the solution that has been implemented is successful or unsuccessful, you will be looking again to another problem that will come out of that particular action plan or particular intervention that has been implemented. So yun ang titingnan ninyo doon. Okay? Kaya siya naging cycle. Kasi babalik ka doon sa pinakaumpisa. Ano ba yung root cause? And then, tingnan mo ngayon yung intervention mo, successful ba siya or not? And then, once it becomes successful, look for another problem based on the root cause. If it is not successful or it became unsuccessful, you have to look for the factors why the action plan or why the intervention implemented is unsuccessful. So yun yung another research mo. Bakit siya naging unsuccessful? Ito ba mga factors na to affecting the problem, the root cause? Or itong ba mga factors na to ay nagkaroon ng effect doon sa implementation ng program? So yun yung sinasabi nating cyclical process. Okay. So action research may also be applied to programs. Yan. Apply to programs, especially in the courses, okay, in the courses that you are taking up, or educational techniques. Actually, dito kasi sa Pilipinas, nasanay tayo na ang tawag natin sa program ay courses. Diba? Sanay tayo dyan eh. Halimbawa, Bachelor in Secondary Education, Bachelor in Elementary Education. We are calling it as, or we are calling them as courses. But actually, they are not called as courses, but rather they should be called as programs. At yung mga subjects na kinukuha ninyo under those programs, such as the Bachelor in Elementary Education or Bachelor in Secondary Education, they are known as courses, not subjects. Nasasanay lang tayo sa ganon. Okay? So action research may be applied to programs or educational techniques such as the pedagogy, teaching methods, okay, classroom management, learning styles of the teachers, the study habits of the students, okay? Educational techniques that are not necessarily experiencing any problems, but that educators simply want to learn more and improve. How are you going to improve the learning situation of the students? How are you going to improve the reading comprehension of the students? How are you going to improve the scores of the students when it comes to learning mathematics and learning English? Okay, action research may be applied. Okay, hindi lang sa mga bagay-bagay pwedeng magamit yan, but also in the teaching methodology, especially those who are already in their practice teaching. Kasi ang mga estudyante, ito yung katotohanan. If you are a pre-service teacher, especially if you are practice teaching, yung mga teacher kasi ngayon na mga nag-aaral ng teaching, kasi nakikita nila yung mga problema eh. Especially if you are from the public school, you can see or you are already awake with the problems which are prevalent in the public schools. What do you do? Diba? What do? You will be thinking of a solution on how are you going to solve those problems. And I can say that these teachers, pre-service teachers, or these teachers who are already their practice teaching are very idealistic. Yan ang totoo. Napaka-idealistic in a sense na yung tipong can I say that it is, or the problem is already in the system itself? Para bang they are thinking of a solution which is impossible to be implemented, or a solution which is impossible to solve. Okay? A perennial problem. Parang ganon. Okay? Pero once that the action research has been applied, you can prove whether the solution that you are thinking of is effective or not. Okay? Hindi pwede kasi tayong bira lang ng bira, tapos pagdating sa dulo, pag hindi effective, bigla tayong aatras. Hindi, dapat sigurado tayo kung magiging successful or feasible yung ating acting action plan or intervention or hindi. Or else, magiging ano lang tayo, sasabihin na tayo ay masyadong we are going against the flow, di ba? We are going against the flow. Hindi na lang tayo sumunod sa kung ano yung nasa sistema, which is mali. Diba? Kasi nakikita natin perennial problem tapos susunod lang tayo. Siyempre, we are thinking of something on how are we going to change the educational situation. Kasi kahit naman nakikita natin may educational crisis na ayaw pa rin nilang i-declare na may educational crisis. Bakit? Wala naman daw eh. Wala to educational crisis. In what sense? How were they able to say that there is no educational crisis? Palibasa kasi nanggaling sa mga magagandang eskwelahan. Nanggaling sa mga palibasa may mayaman, nakapag-aral sa ibang bansa, nakapagtapos sa mga magagandang eskwelahan, pero the problem in the public schools, okay, they did not see, okay, they are blinded by the good educational system that they had when they were studying, but they were blind when it comes to the perennial problems which are present with the public schools. Na dapat yun yung maging bukas sila. Dapat yan yung maging aware sila sa kung ano yung naging problem sa mga public school. At yan ang nagiging responsibility ng mga teachers ngayon sa public school. To look for a problem, conduct a research, implement an intervention to alleviate the conditions of the students and or the teachers when it comes to the education system. Okay. Next. Why conduct action research? What are the reasons why we have to conduct action research? First one, action research generates knowledge around inquiry in practical educational contexts. It produces knowledge around inquiry in practical educational context. What are the common issues? Siyempre, nung pandemic, ano yung pinakausong topic during the pandemic? What do you think are the common topics or common subject of researches? Siyempre, unang-una dyan, the effects of online learning. Diba? Halos lahat ng researchers during the pandemic, especially in the 2020, 2021, 2022, the common topic that they are conducting or that they get to conduct a research is about the effects of online learning. Ngayon, hindi na pwede. Hindi na pwede, or the preparedness or readiness of the students and teachers in the implementation of online learning. Yan yung mga common topics eh. Pero ngayon, hindi mo na pwedeng i-topic ang preparedness when it comes to online learning kasi we are already in the digital age. We are already in the education 4.0. Actually, may 5.0 na. Education 5.0. Ngayon tayo, medyo nahuhuli pa tayo kasi we are still in the education 4.0. Diba? We are already in the digital age pero meron na education 5.0. Kasi nandoon pa rin tayo sa preparedness. Hanggang kailan tayo matatapos sa preparedness? Nandito na tayo sa dapat evaluation na tayo, hindi tayo preparedness. Lumipas na ang 3 taon, hindi pa rin tayo handa. Diba? O sino ba ang hindi handa? Is it the teachers, the students, or the government agencies? That's a question to be pondered on. Sino ba ang hindi handa? Tayo ba? Sila ba? O ayun na, alam nyo na. Sino? Okay? Secondly, action research allows educators to learn through their actions with the purpose of developing personally or professionally. Okay? It allows educators to learn. Yung mga dating takot sa research, because of the action research, okay, they are given opportunities to prove themselves that they are also good. Minsan yung mga tatahitahimik, yung mga takot na takot sa research, sila pala yung mga mahuhusay. Diba? Natatakot sa defense, natatakot tanungin, pero pagka nandiyan na sa actual presentation of the research paper, and then they were asked questions, ang galing-galing nilang sumagot, kabisadong-kabisado nila yung paper nila. Okay? And then, And it says here, action research or conducting research is for the purpose of developing personally and professionally. Number 3, due to its participatory nature, the process of action research is also distinct in educational research. Okay. So action research ay hindi lang siya parang survey research lang. Katulad ng mga marketing research, kadalasan ng marketing research, mga survey lang yan. Pumunta ka ng grocery, mamigay ka ng questionnaire doon, mamaya-maya may sagot ka na, and then just present the percentage. How many people likes this particular product? Or let's say, for example, 70% or 70 people out of 100 says that they prefer tender juicy than mighty meaty. Tapos na. Ganun lang yon. But in educational research, it is not only, or you are not only limited to giving questionnaire, but you can also ask questions for clarifications. And that is the purpose of the educational research, to give clarifications when it comes to the issues and problems that surround the educational system. And then action research also involves processes, plan a change, take action to enact the change, observe the process and consequences of the change, reflect on the process and consequences, act, observe, and reflect again, and so on. Ito yung processes natin when it comes to action research. Kaya nga siya naging cyclical. Okay? Okay, now, let's answer the question, why is that action research is known as cyclical process? Yan. Ito na siya. So, we have the analysis and theory generation. Secondly, developing action strategies and putting them into practice, clarifying the situation, and finding a starting point. That is according to Altricher, Posh, and Summit 1993. Okay, so these are, according to them, that these are the 4 processes when it comes to the action research. And then, pag natapos ka sa finding a starting point, babalik ka na naman doon sa analysis and theory generation. Why is that the problem persistent or present? And according also to Altricher, Posh, and Summit 2007, there's a circle of action and reflection. Mag-uumpisa tayo sa consequences or ideas for action. What are these problems? What are these issues? And then you will be taking an action. How are you going to solve these problems? How are you going to solve these issues? And how are you going to solve it? How are you going to come up with an action plan by means of data collection? Okay, to prove that your point is true or to prove that your point is untrue. And then, after the data collection, interpretation, evaluation, if you already have your action plan, you have to implement it, evaluate whether the action plan that you have implemented or the intervention which was executed is successful or not. And then after the evaluation, you will go again. You will go back again to the ideas or issues and problems to be solved. Okay, so this is the diagram for the cyclical process when it comes to the action research. Okay, next. So difference between informal research and action research. So what are the differences? Informal research, extensive training is needed. Informal research, you must have an adequate knowledge when it comes to the conduct of formal research, especially in writing your thesis and dissertation, in writing your college thesis. Kasi I do not believe that there is such term as baby thesis. Bakit? Bakit hindi ako naniniwala sa term na baby thesis? Ang college thesis daw ay baby thesis. I do not believe on that concept that there is a baby thesis. Because when you write a thesis, even if that is a master's thesis or a college thesis, still a thesis. Okay? When you are writing a college thesis or you are writing a master's thesis, it's still a research paper at walang baby thesis. Kasi wala namang adult thesis. Diba? Walang baby research at walang adult research. Pare-parehong research yan. Kaya I would like to request everyone to please avoid the use of the term baby thesis because there is no such term as baby thesis. When you are writing a thesis, whether it is a college or a master's thesis, it's still a thesis. If you are writing whether a college thesis or a master's thesis, it's still a research paper. Tandaan nyo yan. Kaya hanggat maaari, walang gagamit sa inyong term na baby thesis kasi walang ganun. Okay? Walang ganun. A thesis is a thesis, whether it is a college, master's, or a dissertation. They are all theses. And they are all research paper. And what you are conducting is a research paper or a formal research and not a baby research. Okay? Siguro, nagsasabing baby thesis yan kasi preparatory. Dahil tinuturuan kayo on how are you going to conduct a formal research. Pero what you are conducting is still a research paper. Diba? Kahit na preparatory lang yan, yung iba naman hindi naman na nagtutuloy ng master's degree o hindi naman nagtutuloy ng doctorate. Kaya hindi na nakakapag-master's or master's thesis or doctorate dissertation. Pero yung college thesis still a thesis. Kaya wala dapat term na baby thesis even if that is just a preparatory. Okay, secondly, knowledge produced is generalizable. It can be applied to not only in one institution or one organization, but it can also be applied to all. Review of previous research. As what I have mentioned a while ago, that research can be replicated depending on the environment and participants. Kaya it could be a review of previous research. Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag na review of related literature and studies. Because this review of related literature and studies are used to prove whether your point is true or not. Okay? The chapter 2 is the foundation of your paper. Remember, when you are writing your chapter 4, the interpretation, analysis, and interpretation of data, hindi ka na dapat naghahanap pa ng iba pang mga RRL or RRS na ilalagay mo doon sa interpretation ng data mo, doon sa analysis, interpretation, and presentation, doon sa analysis and interpretation of data mo. Dapat hindi ka na naghahanap ng iba pang RRL at RRS. Bakit? Kasi meron pa ng chapter 2. Saan pa yung review of related literature mo kung hindi mo naman gagamitin yan? Ano yun? Design lang? Diba? Ano yun? Para lang mahumaba yung paper mo? Anong gamit ang chapter 2? Wala lang kasi kailangan eh. No. The use of the review of related literature and studies is to anchor your paper. Whether your point that you have presented in your chapter 4 is true or not. Kaya kapag ako nagpapanel ng research paper o ng thesis defense, halimbawa, ang hinahanap ko, tinignan ko chapter 4 mo, hahanapin ko yung RRL mo sa chapter 4 mo doon sa iyong review of related literature and studies. Bakit? Kasi kapag wala yun doon sa RRL mo, I don't know if that is part, I don't know if your review of the related literature is part of your chapter 1 or chapter 2. Saan siya kasama? Nakahiwalay ba? Chapter 1, embedded since chapter 1. So after the introduction, review of related literature and studies. Tama? Okay. So yun ang ginagawa ko. Tinitingnan ko. Kapag wala yung RRL or RRS na inilagay mo doon sa chapter 2, sa chapter 4 mo, wala doon sa review of related literature and studies mo sa chapter 1, ang tanong ko sa'yo, saan nanggaling? O ngayon, hindi mo masagot saan galing. Sabihin mo kasi nag-research po ako, dinagdag ko po sa chapter 4 ko po para magkaroon ng additional sources. Ang gagawin ko doon sa nagdi-defend, ipapaulit ko sa kanya yung kanyang review of related literature and studies. Bakit? Kasi naglalagay ka na wala naman doon. Diba? So ang gagawin ko sa iyo, lahat ng inilagay mong sources doon sa iyong chapter 4, ipapalagay ko lahat yan doon sa iyong chapter 2. Kasi walang gamit na. Wala nang gamit yung review of related literature mo. Wala nang gamit yun dahil di mo naman doon kinuha. Naghanap ka pa ng iba. Para saan pa yung review of related literature mo? Walang gamit yon. It's just useless. Kaya mo inilagay yon to support everything which are written on your paper. Huwag ka na maghahanap ng iba kung meron na doon. Diba? Parang ano lang yan eh, parang sa mag-boyfriend. Dahil hindi ka kontento sa kung ano yung meron doon sa boyfriend mo o girlfriend mo, naghahanap ka ng iba. O, kasi wala doon eh. Maghanap ka, ilagay mo na, kung ano yung wala doon, ilagay mo na, isama mo na doon. Even in writing your questionnaire, pag gumagawa ng questionnaire, yan din ang hinahanap ko. Saan nanggaling yung mga indicators mo sa questionnaire mo? Saan nanggaling yan? Eh kasi naisip ko lang po, wala kang basis? Wala po. Ibig sabihin, nag-assume ka. Remember that research is not based on assumption. Research is not based on the product of your creativity or your imagination, nor it is opinionated. Diba? But it should always be empirical. Anong ibig sabihin pag empirical? It should be facts-based. So saan manggagaling? Ilalagay mo doon sa instrumentation mo that the questionnaire is a researcher-made questionnaire and based on the conducted review of the related literature. Tapos nung hinanap mo indicator, wala naman. Diba? So yun din ang gamit ng review of the related literature and studies mo. Dapat doon nanggagaling yung mga indicators mo sa iyong questionnaire. Okay. Okay. Random or representative sampling, pwede yan sa formal research. Evaluate and pretest measures, statistical tests, qualitative techniques, emphasis is on the theoretical significance, increased knowledge about teaching and learning in general, publish report, journal, article, and professional conference. Okay. When it comes to action research, that is very different when it comes to the formal, unlike with the formal. Why? Because in the action research, extensive training is not required. Even if you do not have any background knowledge when it comes to research writing, you can still conduct research. Okay? Paano ka makakapagsulat ng research paper? You can just have a short seminar or short training when it comes to action research and you can write a research paper. Unlike with the formal research, kasi nga step-by-step process siya, kailangan talagang ng intensive, okay, or extensive training. Okay? Unlike with the action research. Knowledge is to apply to local situation. And problems urgently faced, such as the pedagogical, okay, mga teaching strategies, study habits, learning styles, mga ganyan. More cursory, there is a use of what we call secondary sources. Remember that there are the primary and the secondary sources. Ano ba itong mga primary sources? Who among you, in our participants, I would like to ask, who among you can differentiate primary and secondary sources? Among our participants. Sige, may recitation tayo. Ako tatawag. Gusto ko tong ganitong part. Meron tayong audience impact. Okay, tingnan natin kung nakikinig. Kasi baka naboboring na dahil ako'y maraming sinasabi. Sige. Tatawag tayo sa yeast. Yeast tayo tatawag. Miss Bermudez. Hello?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Miss Jazine Dale Bermudez. I would like to ask you, what do you think is the difference between primary and secondary sources?
I think, sir, primary research are the direct access to the subject, while the secondary sources are like cited from the primary sources, sir.
Okay, it could be. Pwede siyang ganon. Kasi pag sinabi nating primary sources, it is directly lifted. Directly lifted siya. it came from the information came from originally from the respondent itself. Pero kapag ka secondary, pwedeng yan sinabi ni Ms. Bermudez, it could be cited. Okay? So example of the primary sources, we have the survey, primary yan. Interview, primary din yan. Okay? Kapag ka secondary naman, pwedeng newspaper, ano pa? Pwedeng mga journals, ano pa? Pwedeng mga reference books, magazines, yan, mga secondary sources yan. Pero kapag ka mga diaries, yan, primary sources yan. Kasi originally or the information is originally from the author. Okay? So yan. Thank you so much, Ms. Bermudez. Namaya ulit. Tawag tayo ulit. Okay. So students or clients with whom they worked, looser procedures, hindi masyadong mahigpit yan. Pwede kasi, depende sa institution kung ano ang kanilang format when it comes to action research. Unlike with the formal research, there is a definite or fixed format for this. Okay, convenient measures or standardized tests focus on practical and not statistical significance. It presents also raw data and graphs, emphasis on practical significance and improved teaching and learning in a particular classroom, and informal sharing with colleagues or creation of brief reports. Kasi pag action research, hindi masyadong kailangan ng i-defend mo yan. Ang kailangan nila result and how are you going to implement the action plan? How are you going to implement the intervention to alleviate the learning problems? Okay, so yun. Question so far? Question? Sure? Mahaba-haba pa to. Baka alas 4 na, di pa tayo tapos. Ano pa lang, 20 slides pa. Slide 6 pa lang tayo. Okay, next. Let's proceed with the next. Okay, so what are the steps in writing and action research? Dito ako nag-focus sa action research kasi ito yung common eh. Ito yung common na ginagawa ng mga teachers, especially in the public school. And I know that most of you are dreaming of teaching in the public. Tama ba? Kasi hindi ako nangarap magturo sa public. Never. Never ako nangarap magturo sa public. Sabi ko, magiging teacher ako, pero magtuturo ako sa college. Yan, pangarap ko yun. You know why? Why I dreamed of teaching in the college, not in the basic education? Kasi I hate writing lesson plans. Ayaw ko talaga niyan. I hate creating instructional materials. Ayoko rin yan. Yung magsusulat sa Manila paper, magsusulat sa cartolina, tapos gagawa ka pa ng kung ano-anong mga magagarbong mga design. Kasi, di ba? You have to get the attention of the students. That's why you have to make creative visual aids. Tapos naalala ko pa nung college ako, sabihin ng professor namin noon, palakpakan nyo si ganito kasi ang ganda ng devices niya. O samantalang ako noon, basta makapag-provide lang ako ng instructional material, okay na. Kasi nga tamad ako gumawa noon, kaya talagang nagpursige akong mag-aral dahil ayoko magturo ng basic ed. Gusto ko college. O, yun. At huwag niyo akong gagayahin ha, pag nagawa ng lesson plan, inuuna muna yung content bago ang objective. It's a no-no when you are writing a lesson plan. You always have to start with the objective, not with the content. Kasi paniwala ko na pag may content na, madali nilang objective eh. Yung pala, mali pala yun. Okay. Sige. Steps in writing and action research. Number 1, identify a problem to be studied. What is the problem? What is the issue? Okay, that your classroom is facing. Kasi pag action research, local lang yan. Institutional or commonly it is within the classroom. Ano yung problema sa loob ng classroom mo? Okay, check mo. Halimbawa, while you are teaching, ano ba yung nakita mo problema sa loob ng classroom? Kahit na kayo ay nag-aaral pa inside your classroom with your classmates and with your professor, observe. What's the problem? Ano ba yung nagiging problema sa loob ng classroom ninyo? Huwag yung puro Okay lang yung tracer study, pero wag laging tracer study. Kasi pag na-identify mo na yung mga, nasaan na yung mga graduates ninyo, ano, what about that? Pag na-identify na ninyo, where did they go? After that, what? Diba? Doon lang, improve the program. How are you going to improve the program? Yun lang. Pero kapag nakita ninyo yung problema sa loob ng classroom ninyo, even in your own classroom where you are studying, you can improve the learning situation, which all your classmates and even the succeeding classes will also benefit out of it. Magbe-benefit sila doon. Secondly, collect data on the problem. Where are you going to get the data? Where are you going to get the information? As what I have mentioned a while ago, that make sure that the information or resources, even the participants of your study, are readily available. They are accessible. Organize, analyze, and interpret the data. Develop a plan to address the problem. Implement the plan. Evaluate the results of the actions taken, identify a new problem, and repeat the process. So, ganun yun. Cycle pa rin siya. Katulad nung ipinakita ko sa inyong diagram when it comes to the action research. Why action research was known to be cyclical. So, the same thing with this. Next, the first one, magtataka lang ako ng ilan lang doon sa steps natin. I think there are only, I will just discuss 4 or 5. The first one is identify a problem to be studied. So it says here that the first step is to identify a unique problem. What is the problem all about? What is the persisting problem inside your classroom? What is the prevalent problem in your school when it comes to pedagogy, when it comes to classroom management, when it comes to the curriculum, when it comes to the different aspects of learning? Okay, so identify a unique problem. You might want to define the problem and describe it in the context where it is set. Sometimes the problem might be distinct and easy to identify. Alternatively, the problem to be studied could stem from a sense of discomfort or tension in the classroom. Therefore, at this stage, you might want to carefully plan to avoid false starts and frustrations during the research. Okay, so that's the first one. Identify a problem to be studied. What is the unique problem? Yun yung sinasabi ko eh. Ano ba yung problema? Yun ang dapat ma-identify ninyo. Pwede kasing discomfort lang yan inside the classroom. Parang yung nung habang ikay nag-aaral, habang ikay nakikinig, habang ikaw ay nagtuturo sa practice teaching mo, parang yung pakiramdam mo, parang may mali. Ano yung mali na yon? Pwede mo maging topic yon sa research. Okay? So, topics for action research can include the following: changes in classroom practice, from traditional to online, to mixed. Yan. Effects of program restructuring. Halimbawa, yung proposal ni Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo from K to 12, she is proposing to change it to K plus 10 plus 2. Diba? Parang ganun din. Binago lang niya yung konsepto ng senior high school. It's just the same. And then, new understanding of students, teacher skills and competencies when it comes to the use of technology or the technology integration when it comes to student achievement, new professional relationships, halimbawa mga managerial skills, leadership skills ng mga school heads or principals, and new content or curricula. What's the new proposal? What is the new proposal when it comes to the curriculum of basic education? Ano ba 'yon? Merong ibang mga may mga proposals ngayon, 'di ba? Give me one of the proposals when it comes to the curriculum of the basic education. Meron, di ba, na they will be removing the lingua franca. Not lingua franca, but the mother tongue. Di ba? The vernacular language. Ano pa? Iko-combine yung mga subjects. CPK at, ano yun? Yung bagong subject na ipinopropose nila. CPK, tapos may kasama pa siyang iba. Diba? Yun yung mga proposals. So, pwedeng gawing action research din yan. The effects of the implementation of the new subject to the student learning or student achievement. Yan, pwedeng ganun mga topics. Okay, next, gathering relevant data. Data collection is crucial step in action research because it helps you to determine your actions. The idea behind this step is to correctly understand what is going on in the classroom by using multiple data sources. And since you can collect data in many ways, a significant decision to make at this stage is to choose the most relevant data to issue under investigation and the best way to collect it. As you go further, consider asking yourself these questions. When you are collecting data, answer the following question. The first one, is it simple to collect the data? It will be hard for you to collect the data if the data or information that you need from the respondents, or especially if the respondents or participants are not available. Mahirap yan. Are there readily available sources? If you don't have the internet, if you don't have the library, it will be hard for you to get sources. Lalo ngayon na ang kailangan natin na kahit saan ka magpunta internet. Diba? It will be hard for you to gather sources if you do not have the internet connection, if you do not have the laptops or even the mobile phones or smartphones. Yan na, kasi yun ang kailangan ngayon. And how systematic and structured will the collection be? How are you going to collect the data? Is it with the use of the Google form? Is it with the use of face-to-face distribution of the questionnaire? Is it by the use of SurveyMonkey or other online platforms, di ba? Yung iba nga, sinesend na lang nila yung Google form not only via email eh. Kasi pag email, minsan matagal mag-respond dahil hindi naman lahat ay nagbubukas ng email. Ang pinakamadali na mag-distribute ng mga questionnaire ay via Messenger. Kasi halos lahat ng tao gumagamit ng Messenger. Okay? So how systematic, how organized, how structured will the collection be? Okay, next. Interpreting data. Once you have gotten the relevant data and organized it, how are you going to present the data? Yan, una sa lahat. How are you going to present the data? Is it based on themes? If you're conducting a qualitative research, syempre, the presentation of your data would be thematic. Okay? You have to separate a theme from another theme. You have to analyze the responses of your respondents based on their themes. Or if you are conducting a quantitative research, you can present your data by using bar graph, line graph, diba? Pictograph. You can also use pie chart, diba? Yan, yung pwede nyo gamitin. And when you are analyzing, okay, when you analyze your data, anong ginagawa pa? Ano bang ginagawa kapag ina-analyze natin ang data? Ano tinitingnan natin? Siyempre, we are looking into numbers. We are looking into figures. Okay? And then, we analyze based on what we can see. Or we interpret pala. Analysis and interpretation of data. We interpret the data based on what we can see on the graphs, what we can see on the chart. Kapag sinabi naman natin we analyze the data, ito yung pinakamahirap when we analyze. Bakit? Bakit mahirap yung analysis ng data? Kasi kung na-interpret mo na siya based on what you can see or based on the figures that you can see in the chart or on the graph, you have to you have to answer the question, what now? Halimbawa, nakita mo na si student A ay may pinakamataas na score based on the weighted mean. Tapos si student Z naman ay may pinakamababang score based on the weighted mean of this with the standard deviation of this. O ngayon, kung nakita mo yon, kung nakita mo na yung mga pagkakaiba na yon, ano naman ngayon? O, di ba? Yan ang pinakamahirap na tanong. Ano ngayon? Kung yun yung lumabas sa data mo, ano ngayon? Para saan? Yan, diyan na lalabas yung paggamit ng related literature and studies sa pagsagot ng ano ngayon. Okay? So, pwede mong sabihin, based on the study of Logmao 2023, di ba nagulat ka? Banggit yung pangalan mo. According to Logmao 2023, the study of Logmao 2023 confirmed that, yan, yun na yung analysis mo ngayon. What now? Ano ngayon? Ibig sabihin, na-confirm yung theory mo na si student A pala ang may pinakamataas na score compared to student Z. And that is based, or it is based on the confirmation from the study conducted by Logmao 2023. Yun yung sinasabi natin gamit ng review of related literature and studies to whether to confirm or to debunk such result that you have gotten from the figure or from the data that you have gathered. Okay, yun yung gamit niyan. Okay? Naintindihan po ba? Sige, let's continue. Yun lang yun. When you are interpreting data. Acting on evidence, design a plan. Meron ka ng result. Patunayan mo ng tama lahat ng lumabas sa result mo. Ngayon, ano ang plano mo? Kadalasan kasi, especially in the formal research, when you are formulating an action plan or when you are formulating a solution on a particular issue or problem, ang hinahanap mo lagi diyan yung weakest. Halimbawa, out of the 10 indicators, alin diyan sa 10 indicator na diyan ang may pinakamababang weighted mean? Doon sa 10, let's say number 5 has the lowest weighted mean based on the rank. Si indicator number 5 ang naging top rank 10. O ngayon, doon sa rank 10 na yon, yung nakakuha ng rank 10, siya ngayon ang gagawan mo or iisipan mo ng intervention on how are you going to improve that particular indicator. Okay? Yun ang tamang paraan ng paggawa ng action plan. Hindi lang yung, oo nga no, paano ko nga ma-alleviate yun? Paano ko masusolusyonan yung problema? Hindi yung basta banat ka lang ng banat. You have to still analyze your chapter 4. Doon lagi manggagaling sa results of chapter 4 mo yung magiging laman ng iyong action plan. Okay? So sabi rito, design a plan of action based where? On the information you gathered from the data collection and interpretation and a thoughtful review of your current literature. Why? Because doing this allows you to make a change and study that change, and it would help if you attempted to make changes one variable at a time. Why? This is because when you change multiple variables at once, you might not know which action is responsible for your results. Continue to document and collect performance data while the new technique is being implemented. Yan yung sinasabi ko na indicator, yung variable. Ano yung variable na weakest? So doon ka mag-uumpisa. Okay, pag gumagawa tayo ng action plan. Maganda to workshop para alam niyo kung paano gumawa ng questionnaire using your RRL, yung paggawa ng action plan ninyo based on your chapter 4. Kasi ako nagko-conduct talaga ako ng workshop para maintindihan kung paano nangyayari yung ganun pagka ikaw ay gumagawa ng research. Pero ayun, malayo lang talaga ako. Kung pwede lang mag-instant transmission papunta dyan diba? Ganun lang. So yan na. Bilis lang. Okay, let's continue. Evaluating results. Evaluate all the results you received during the research. Carefully examine the effect to see if any progress has been made. And answer the question, does the data clearly show evidence of improvement? If there is one, and if not, what changes do you make to make actions to the actions to improve the outcome? Identify additional questions raised by the data due to the action research project and and plan for further improvements, revisions, and next steps. Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina pa, na kailangan ma-evaluate ninyo whether the program implemented or the intervention executed is successful or not. If successful, anong hahanapin mo? Evidences why the program became successful. And if it unsuccessful, what are the factors or what are the reasons do you think that that affected or contributed to the failure of such program or such intervention implemented? So yun ang hahanapin ninyo. Pag successful, hahanapin nyo ay evidences. Pag failed or unsuccessful, factors contributed to the failure ng implementation. So yun. When you are evaluating results. Okay, so now these are my sample action researches that I have conducted. Actually, hindi lang siya solo. And some of these action researches were presented in the division level and it won an award in the division level. So ito yung ilan sa mga nanalo na mga gawa namin. Actually, ako lang ang gumawa nito. Funded lang yan ng partner, ng co-author. Pero ako talaga ang gumawa nito ng kabuuan. Okay? And then this one, we have here, ang kabisaan ng differentiated instruction. So it's still based on the issue is based on pedagogy. Kabisaan ng differentiated instructions sa pagpapaunlad ng unawa sa mga paksa ng Pilipino ng mga piling mag-aaral sa ika-4 na baitang ng paaralang elementarya ng Almanza. Ito naman, the other one, developing conceptual knowledge in social studies topics for grade 6 students using the strategic timeline module. Ito naman, isa pa. Promoting discipline at home through the help of guidance and counseling toward action plan and technology-mediated instruction as a tool in improving reading competency. So yan, these are some of the research or action research that I have conducted na i-present siya in division meet or research festival, institutional research festival. At itong promoting discipline at home, ito ay published na ito. Naghahanap lang ako ng fund para ma-publish ko pa yung iba pa. Medyo, magastos. Okay, next. Ito na tayo ngayon. So, online sources for local literature and studies. Kasi ito yung lagi tayo namomroblema. But I can send you a link here. Okay. Where you can find, ito, nasa chat box natin. Sabi ni Ms. Delagua, I would like to ask for clarification on this. Halo po ng PE at araling panlipunan po. What do you mean? Medyo hindi ko lang na-gets.
Magandang hapon po, sir. Natanong niyo po kasi kanina yung about po sa pagbabago ng disenyo ng K-12. So,
yeah.
Meron po kasi kaming kakatapos lang na seminar last week, and then nabahagi din siya ng aming guest speaker, and isa sa mga ibahagi niya is yung paghahalo ng PE na subject at araling panlipunan po. Yun po yung sinabi niya.
Okay. iniisip ko tuloy, pagka naghalo ang araling panlipunan at PE, pinag-aaralan halimbawa, sorry ano lang naman to, hindi ko alam kasi kung paano mangyayari, habang nag-aaral kayo, habang tinuturuan nyo sila sa pagdating ni Magellan sa Pilipinas, nagja-jumping jack. Yan tuloy, napakamot tuloy ng ulo si Miss Lugmaw Hindi kasi, di ba, paghaluin mo yung PE tsaka araling panlipunan, parang it doesn't make sense. Sorry, I don't know how Department of Education will do that. Because that is one of their proposals in decongesting the curriculum. Diba? PE, physical education, tsaka araling panlipunan. I really don't know how it will be done. Pinag-aaralan nyo si Magellan tapos jumping jack. Sige, anyway. Sige, malalaman na lang natin yan sa mga susunod na panahon. Sige, thank you so much, Miss ano ba to? Delagua. Thank you so much for the clarification. Sige. Maganda pag-aralan yan, yung decongestion, tapos magko-combine ka ng mga subjects. Hindi mo alam paano mo ituturo. Siyempre, ang PE, diba? Ang MAPE, music, arts, physical education, and health. And then, i-combine mo sa araling panlipunan. Diba? 5 aspect sa isang subject. Ano yun? Monday, music. Tuesday, arts. Wednesday, PE. Thursday, health. Tapos Friday, araling panlipunan. Hati-hati yun. Sa linggo. Tapos 1 hour lang. Diba? Sige, good luck. Good luck talaga sa mga teachers natin. Lalo magre-reklamo yan. Okay, sige. So yan, online sources for local literature and studies. Actually, doon sa nakita kong source, there are 23 sites, and aside from those 23, meron pa mga additional. I-access ninyo itong link na ibinigay ko sa inyo, nandiyan halos lahat. Kanta ni Max Serba about kay Magellan. Naalala ko tuloy si Yoyoy Biliame. Philippine Geography. Tapos yun ang itatopic to music at araling panlipunan combined. Diba? Totoo lang, nag-iisip talaga ako paano mangyayari yan. Totoo lang ang educational system ng Pilipinas, nagiging katatawanan sa mga foreigners. Actually, sabi nga nung isang kausap ko na Canadian, according to him, the educational system of the Philippines, especially in the senior high school, is so Jurassic. Napaka-Jurassic daw. Bakit? Kasi kahit hindi naman nila kailangan matutunan, kailangan nila aralin. Kasi in Canada, and in the educational system in Canada, I mean, kung ano yung kailangan lang ng bata, yun ang aaralin nila. If they are into the business and management, all subjects about business and management, yun ang pag-aaralan nila. Wala nang oral form, wala nang piling larangan, wala nang mga ganun-ganun. Hindi nila kailangan yan. Ang kailangan nila, kung ano yung makakapagpa-enhance ng skills nila. Ikaw ba, pagsamahin mo PE tsaka araling panlipunan? Diba? Tapos ang theme song nun, yung yung kay yung Magellan ni Max Serba o kaya Philippine Geography ni Yoyoy Biliame. Di ba? Tingnan natin. Sige. Ayun lang. Pinapatawa ko lang naman kayo. Okay. Next. Meron pa ito, pinakamaganda rito. Yan pa yung iba pa. So, paki-access nyo lang yung link sa description box o YouTube channel. If you want to access the links, I have posted it in the description box. Okay, and you can subscribe and press the bell button for the new videos. Okay, sige, next. Useful apps for researchers. Yan. Alam ko yan ang pinakahihintay ninyo. At alam kong alam nyo na yan. Unang-una dyan ay Grammarly. If you want to check your grammar, if you are conducting a research paper, kasi ang pinakamahirap gawin talaga, if you are a researcher, the most difficult thing or the hardest thing to do is to edit your own paper. Diba? Kasi tingin mo, kapag ikaw ay sumulat ng iyong paper, pag sumulat ka ng iyong research, most of the time, you look at it as correct. Hindi mo na kailangan i-edit yan kasi pag tinignan mo at isinulat mo, alam mo sa sarili mo na tama. Pero pag ibang tao ang tumingin yan, mali. Okay? That's why Grammarly is there. Ang gagawin mo lang, i-upload mo yung paper mo and then let the Grammarly app correct the paper itself. And then we also have Killbot. Ano yung Killbot? Para tracing tool. Pero ito lang ang masaklap dyan sa Killbot na yan. Kailangan, when you are paraphrasing your work using Killbot, you have to reread the content. Kasi minsan, nag-iiba yung inilalagay ng Killbot sa kung ano yung gusto mong sabihin. You have to reread the content. Okay? And if you are having a hard time of citing sources, lalo na if that is an online source, website, for instance, citationmachine.net is there to help you. Anong gusto mong format? MLA? Gusto mo ba ng format na Chicago? Gusto mo bang format ay APA 5, APA 6, APA 7? Name it. It's there. Kung online source yan at gusto mong i-cite as APA 7, choose APA 7 and then paste the website. Ayun na, lalabas na yung citation niya. For referencing yan especially. And then, plagiarismdetector.net. If you want to see whether your work is plagiarized or not. Kasi ako mahigpit ako dyan. Pag ipinasa mo sa akin ang papel mo, unang tingin ko pa lang sa papel mo, alam ko kung plagiarized yan or hindi. Okay? Kahit hindi ko basahin ng buo yan, pag ipinasa mo sa akin, alam ko yan kung plagiarized yan or hindi. Kasi una sa lahat, alam niyo kung paano. May mga English teachers ba dito? May English teachers dito? Meron? I mean, may ano ba? May English major po ba sa inyong school?
Yes po.
Okay. Yung elites, yan pala ang ating mga English major. Okay. Tuturuan ko kayo paano nyo madedetect ang isang plagiarized work, lalo na sa mga estudyante ng public school. Una sa lahat, kapag ka ang inyong binabasang papel ay perfect ang grammar, sigurado plagiarized yan. Kasi kahit tayo na ako, I am an English teacher. I am an English major. Okay? But I can sense that a paper or an essay is plagiarized because of the grammar itself. Sa grammar pa lang, may kita mo na kaagad. Kasi ako, kahit ako English major ako, at mahigit 1 dekada na ako nagtuturo, hindi pa rin perfect ang grammar ko. Tapos sila, high school or elementary, pag nagsulat, alam niyo yun, ang lalalim pa ng mga salita na ginagamit. May word pa na ubiquitous, meron pang word. Diba? Hindi ka magtataka na may mga gumagamit ng pagkalalim-lalim na mga salita. Elementary, high school, tapos alam nang gumamit ng word na non-existent to, from real to non-existent, ganun. May mga collocations nang ginagamit. Quick shower, fast food. Fast food pwede pa, pero quick shower, quicksand. mga collocations na tinatawag natin, alam nila gamitin. Samantalang tayo, hindi naman natin alam yung mga synonymous words. Diba? Alam nila gumamit ng word na opaque, vivid. Tapos samantalang tayo, alam lang natin clear, unclear. Diba? Alam niyo yun? Medyo red flag yon sa isang essay ng isang high school student na gumagamit ng mga ganong words. So may kita nyo kaagad na medyo alanganin. Pangalawa, if you are asking them to send their essays online, what you can do, halimbawa, naka-Word, naka-Microsoft Word yung kanilang paper. Okay? Copy ninyo yung first sentence ng kanilang gawa sa Microsoft Word at i-paste ninyo sa Google. Minsan may kita ninyo kung ano yung nakalagay sa Google, parehong-pareho sa kung ano yung nakasulat doon sa kanilang ipinasa online. Plagiarize na. Tinuturuan ko kayo kasi ganyan ako mag-check ng papel. Tinitingnan ko yung mga malalalim na words. Nag-ano lang ako, na-scanning and skimming lang ako sa paper nila. Hindi ko pa binabasa ng thorough yan. Pag may malalalim na words, teka lang, medyo red flag to. Kapag yung first sentence, ipinis ko sa Google, lumabas sa Google, alam na this. Yun na yun. Okay? Ano pa? Kapag ang kanilang paper ay paulit-ulit ang salita. Not paulit-ulit ang salita, paulit-ulit ang thought. Gumamit ng kilbot yan. Yan. Paulit-ulit yung thought. Para lang dumami. Kahit sa inyo, ginagawa nyo yan. Halimbawa, your professor is requiring you to write a 1,000-word essay. Kahit contracted word, pinaghihiwalay nyo. Yung can't, cannot. There, they are. Your, you are. Para dumami. Diba? Style natin yan. Huwag kayo mag-alala. Hindi lang kayo gumagawa niyan. Pati ako, gumagawa ako niyan. Pinaghihiwalay ko, dumami lang yung words. O kaya naman, kahit hindi kailangan i-define ang word, dinidefine. Para dumami. Kumaba. Ganyan yan. Style ng mga estudyante yan. Alam na alam ko yan. Okay. So, yon. So, Grammarly, Killbot, citationmachine.net, and plagiarismdetector.net. Alam nyo na ngayon mag-check ng essay, ha? Marunong na kayo. Malalaman na ninyo na copy-paste yan. Okay, next. So, this is the interface of Grammarly. I think familiar naman na kayo dito eh. Diba? Familiar na kayo. So, Grammarly, I am also using Grammarly in checking. And then, Killbot. Yan. Pwede ang Grammarly, ito ang kaganda sa Grammarly and Killbot, you can still use them even without a pro account. Kahit basic account lang, magagamit na ninyo siya. Yun nga lang, limited lang yung functionalities niya. Yung mga features that you can use, they are just limited. But it's still useful. Kasi sa Grammarly, kapag ka naka-pro account ka, kahit yung active and passive sentences, na-check niya. And then this is citation machine. Paggawa niyo ng thesis, gamit na gamit ito. Nung ako gumagawa ng aking dissertation at master's thesis, dissertation lang, gamit na gamit ko tong citation machine. Okay. And then, plagiarismdetector.net. The problem with the plagiarismdetector.net is that it is very different with the use of Turnitin. Ibang-iba ang gamit nito. Kasi yung mga nadedetect kasi nito, minsan hindi nadedetect ng Turnitin or yung nadedetect ng Turnitin ay hindi nadedetect ng plagiarismdetector.net. Pero malaking bagay na rin ito. At least pwede na ninyong ma-rephrase kung ano man yung mga you think plagiarized. Kasi commonly when you are writing your research paper, 10 to 15% lang ang allowed. I don't know with your school how many percent is allowed when it comes to plagiarism. Kasi karamihan ng school na nakakausap ko, 10 to 15% lang ang allowed. And then, higher than that, they have to rephrase. Okay? Para mag-abot ang 1,000 words. Guilty. O, di ba? Eh, yan ang katotohanan ng mga bagay-bagay. Okay, now, this is my last slide. Okay. So we need technology in every classroom, according to David Warlick, and in every student and teacher's hand, because it is the pen and paper of our time, and it is the lens through which we experience much of our world. Okay, so technology is already part of our everyday lives. Hindi na natin kayang humiwalay pa sa technology, 'di ba? Hindi tayo mabubuhay na walang technology because it's already part of our lives, it's already part of our bloodstream. Yung iba nga 'di ba? Hindi mabubuhay na walang cellphone. Kailangan pag nasira ang cellphone, may kapalit agad kasi kaparte na ng buhay nila 'yan. Okay? At pag nawala ang cellphone nila, pakiramdam nila humiwalay na ang kanluran nila sa katawan nila. Yan ang katotohanan when it comes to technology. They can't live in the provinces, they can't live in remote areas without technology. Kasi yan ay naging parte na ng ating kultura, naging parte na ng ating tradisyon, at naging parte na ng ating educational system. Okay? So we need technology in every classroom and in every student and teacher's hand. So we teachers, we use technology to influence students, to influence the educational system, because teachers affects eternity. Okay, so these are my references for our discussion this afternoon, and thank you.
Yon. Yan, palakpakan naman natin. Napaka-knowledgeable webinar to. Oh, we are very honored, no? To have such excellent speaker for this afternoon. Sir Jerome, thank you very much for allowing us to learn something new today from you. And that's for the webinar 5, Building an Analytical Mindset, Maximizing Online Resources for Effective Pedagogical Research in 21st Century. Thank you very much, Sir Jerome, and indeed, we gained a lot from your talk. We would like to remind all the participants to take the evaluation form as the basis of our e-certificates. However, to clear questions in our heads, let me open the door for the open forum. If you have questions, pwede po kayong mag-ask sa ating speaker. Especially to our graduating participants for the mga fourth year students natin who are currently taking their action research. Pwede. And to our third year students also na hindi pa nakatapos ng kanang final defense, na it is the perfect time to ask a question from a very knowledgeable one. Go ahead, guys.
Excuse me, sigurado may magtatanong dyan, am I available for coaching? Yes, I may be.
Wow! Grabe, sir.
Kasi actually nagko-coach ako ng mga gumagawa ng kanilang master's thesis, dissertation. I am also helping them in their research writing or thesis and dissertation writing. Actually, as of this moment, I have 2 clients for the dissertation and I have 5 for the master's. And I am helping them.
Wow. So guys, you have questions in your head pa ba? If none, kami po yung mag-a-ask ng question sa inyo or maybe any key takeaways. Ayun. We'll be asking key takeaways from different representatives ng ating 8 organizations. Starting with the UMTCMS, we have here Villamor Carlos. What you have learned today? We believe ang rami nating nalaman today. Something wow. Yan. Nandito ba ngayon si Sir Villamor? Moving forward, from the agent, we have Uba Lorraine Joyce. Hello! You have something to share with us? Okay, let's proceed to the question and answer. Paunhanay na lang ni ha? Paunahan lang po ito. Yon. What is the difference between the formal research and action research? Again, what is the difference between the formal research and the action research? CTE-CSG officers, please help me validate the answers. Every correct answer corresponding to 30 pesos via GCash. Go, guys!
Pwede sumagot?
Oh, no!
Topic ko ako sasagot.
Yon, go guys!
Uy, 30 pesos din yan Sayang
Pang-load. Dagdag pang-load, sir.
Oo, pang-online class din yan.
Pampamasahe sa jeep.
Yes, exactly. Kaso nga hindi ka pwede magbayad sa driver ng jeep ng GCash.
Oh. Cash out! Cash out mo muna.
Mabayad ka. Uy, ano po GCash mo?
Ay. Ano na guys? Sinong gusto mag-answer? Ayun, meron tayong participant na nag-answer dito sa ating comment section. Extensive training is needed for formal, while for action, it is not needed. Okay, good point. 30 pesos cash tayo yun. How about the other one? Marami yun, di ba? Marami. By the way, sorry sir, I'm using Bisaya. Tagalog pala si sir. So by the way guys, marami yun, di ba?
Medyo nakakaintindi naman ng Bisaya.
From Cavite pa si sir. Wow, pakalayo ni sir. Davao tayo. May mga another bang mga entry? How about Semafiel? Merong entry po ba kayo dyan? Ayun, from Elites. Let's hear something from Elites. According to Georgine, tama ba pagbasa ma'am? Georgine May Pagobo, formal research is conducted using scientific investigation to replicate measurable results, and action research is a method that aims to simultaneously investigate and solve an issue. Okay ba yun, sir? Tama ba yun, sir?
Agree.
Oh, may 30 pesos na! Sana all! What else? Meron pa dito. Formal, primary source. Action, secondary source. Okay ba yan, sir?
Yes.
Ayun. Okay, guys. Ano pa, guys? Sino pa? Sana all. May 3 na. May 3 na may 30 pesos. Pamasahe sa jeep. Sana all. How about the years? Ano naman ang ano naman yung mga thoughts nyo dyan regarding sa difference between the formal research and the action research? Ayun, move on na siguro ako sa next question, no? Para sa ating 2 more persons na makaka-receive ng 30 pesos cash via GCash. Why do we conduct action research? Again, why do we conduct action research? O baka tayo mag-action research? Dalawa na lang ha? Dalawa na lang. Why do we conduct action research? I need 2 answers for this one question. Go ahead, guys. Yon. Nagsaba-saba na mga orgs. Nagsaba-saba na ang agent. Nagsaba-saba na ang Samafil. Nag-iingay na din ang ating taga-elites. How about ang ating years? Wala tayong EMT-CMS ba? Baka may klase, no? Ay, meron pala isa. Yun, may 3 question. May mga sagot. Ayun. According to Samafil, on Somelisa, necessary especially sa public school if may issue or problem makita, mayroong implementation agad through research. Sir, you need to validate.
Actually, okay sa akin siya because it was answered in their own words. In a practical manner, which is the real function of action research, to look for a problem and then an intervention would be applied to solve that issue. So yun siya. Okay sa akin.
Thank you so much, sir. Congratulations, Ma'am Melissa. Moving on to another entry of answer. Action research generates knowledge around inquiry in practical educational context. Sir, ano na dyan?
May nauna eh.
May nauna. Sige. Another entry. To generate knowledge around inquiry.
Yes, si Agent Jana. Siya kasi yung naunang sumagot and the same answer with elites. So I would go with Agent Jana.
Yan. I will go with Agent Jana. Congratulations! Galing sa kupunan ng agent. Ma'am, wait na, nawala sa kong end. Ma'am Jana, may 30 pesos ka na. And for our final question, ano po ang title ng webinar natin today? I mean this afternoon. Supply me the title of our 5th webinar this afternoon. Go ahead! Nangunguna sa kupunan ng Elites, Building an Analytical Mindset, Maximizing Online Resources for Effective Pedagogical Research in 21st Century. Congratulations to all the winners! And thank you very much for participating. Sir, before to come to an end, allow us to commend the time and effort you have given to us. By that, allow me to read the following citation. Certificate of Appreciation is proudly presented to Sir Jerome Estoril for sharing his invaluable insights and expertise as a guest speaker during the conduct of the fifth webinar of EduKumustahan 2023, a joint program for mental health awareness and educational webinar series entitled Building an Analytical Mindset, Maximizing Online Resources for Effective Pedagogical Research in 21st Century, with a revolving theme, expanding support for students' mental health and excellence in educational contexts, held last May 3, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. online via Zoom meeting platform. Given on this third day of May 2023 at the University of Mindanao Main Campus, Matina, Davao City. Signed by our CSG President, Mr. Nilbert N. Renner, together with our CSG Advisor, Sir Arnold J. A. Ilag, and of course, to our College Dean, Dr. Jocelyn B. Bacaswat. Congratulations, sir. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much to the College of Teacher Education of the University of Mindanao, to Sir Nilbert Renner. Am I correct?
Yes,
Professor
Yes,
Arnel J. Ilag and Dr. Jocelyn Bacasmot for the invitation for this webinar today. And I would like also to thank especially Sir Rex Arbert, dapat na po. Actually, he was the one who stalked me in Facebook. He admitted that he stalked me in Facebook and he sent me a message. Actually, he is one of my church mates, and I was surprised that he sent me a message inviting me to be part of this event of the College of Teacher Education. And I am so honored that I am able to inspire my fellow teachers and the future teachers. And I hope and I pray that you, future teachers, will be the instrument of providing quality education to our students, and you will be the instrument of providing quality graduates that will help in alleviating poverty and the educational, or alleviating the learning situation, educational situation of the Philippines. So again, thank you so much to the University of Mindanao College of Teacher Education, and to all of you, to our participants today. Thank you.
Ayan. Thank you very much, sir. We hope and we believe some pohon padayon sa mi karon. Saya na po. Alright, moving on to another certificate of participation is presented to the CTE participants for his or her active participation during the conduct of the fifth webinar of EduKumustahan 2023, a joint program for mental health awareness and educational webinar series entitled Building an Analytical Mindset, Maximizing Online Resources for Effective Pedagogical Research in the 21st Century, with a revolving theme, expanding support for students' mental health and excellence in educational contexts. Held last May 3, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. via Zoom meeting platform. Given on this third day of May 2023 at University of Mindanao Main Campus, Matina, Davao City. Signed by our CSG President, Mr. Nilbert Renner, together with our advisor, Arnold J. Ilag, and of course, our College Dean, Ma'am Jocelyn Bacasma. Thank you very much to all the organizations, especially to every organization presidents who send their members during the conduct of our webinar. Thank you very much.
I would like to request, I would like to request, sorry, Miss Amy.
It's okay, sir.
I would like to request if there are some people here who have the screenshots of the talk, during the talk, if you could send me a copy of those screenshots. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Yun lang ang request ko. Thank you.
Sure, sure po. Meron po, every slides po, may na-assign po kami na part sa aming technical team.
Thank you.
All right. To be updated on the following list of scheduled webinar, let me call on our Public Information Officer, Ms. EJ Lugmao, for the announcements.
Okay, good afternoon, TT excellent people, and good afternoon to you, sir. So I hope this message finds you well and that you have been enjoying our EduKumustahan 2023 webinar series, webinar 5, webinar 4, webinar 5 day. We have recently concluded our first webinar, which was focused on the importance of cognitive, emotional, and social development last April 29, 2023. Our second webinar, entitled Building Resilience, Strategies for Cognitive, Emotional, and Social Development, and our webinar 3, Strategic Lesson Planning, a key to unlocking your teaching potential, was held yesterday. Our webinar 4, The Power of Connection, Exploring the Social Dimensions of Teaching and Learning, which concluded earlier this morning. And now our webinar 5, Building an Analytical Mindset, Maximizing Online Resources for Effective Research, which is currently ongoing. And we are delighted to see your active participation for today's webinar, as well as to you, Sir Jerome Estoril, for accepting our invitation and sharing such informative webinar session this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here with us. Moving forward, we have one more webinar lined up for us, tackling various aspects of education and development. We have our webinar 6, entitled Breaking Barriers, Exploring Gender and Development in Education Context. As always, we value your feedback and invite you to fill out the evaluation form after each webinar to help us improve and tailor our content to your needs. Please note that the screenshots of the participants were taken during the webinar, so we kindly ask those who did not attend not to fill out the form. To stay updated on all the latest details and information, please make sure to stay tuned to our official channels and keep an eye out for any announcements. We kindly remind you to mark your calendars and save the dates for the upcoming webinars. We promise to provide you more valuable insights and strategies to enhance your holistic learning experience. Again, thank you for your continued support, and we look forward to seeing you in our future webinars and events.
Yan. Thank you very much, Mommy EJ. DJ, DJ EJ. Ah. So yun ha. Never missed one webinar na lang. One webinar na lang po meron tayo. Prepared for your mental health and educational growth. So never miss that one kasi there's a bang. May pasorpresa na para sa inyo. Well, anyway, to formally end our 5th webinar series for EduKumustahan 2023, let me call on the screen our ever outstanding CTE-CSG advisor, Sir Arnold J. Ilag-Ilag, for his final remarks. However, we are quite saddened to say that our CTE-CSG advisor has an emergency to attend, so allow me to read his warmest closing remarks to all of us. Right? So, on behalf of our College Dean, Dr. Jocelyn D. Bacasmot, Program Heads, BS Ed Program Heads, Professor Joey C. Oliveros, to our BS NED, B-Ed, and BSED Program Head, Professor Charmaine V. Banyas, and our BPE Program Head, Professor Jonald J. R. Bersano, CTE faculty and staffs, guest speaker, CSG officers, and participants, good afternoon. In closing, as the CSG advisor, I would like to express my gratitude to all of the participants who joined us for the EduKumustahan 2023's 5th webinar. It was a pleasure to see so many individuals eager to learn and improve their research skills. I hope that you found the information and insights provided by our guest speaker, Dr. Jerome Estoril, to be useful and applicable to your research practices. Remember that research is an essential component of any academic career, and with the constant advancement of technology, it is crucial to know how to utilize online resources effectively. I encourage all of you to continue to explore and apply the strategies and tools learned in this webinar. to enhance your research output. And lastly, I would like to thank the CSG officers for organizing the EduKumustahan 2023 for hosting this informative and valuable webinar series. The effort and dedication put into organizing these events are truly appreciated, and I look forward to future opportunities to learn and grow with the EduKumustahan community. Thank you once again for your participation, and I wish you all the best in your academic and professional pursuits. Let us continue to work together towards a more informed and innovative society. Nagmamahal, Sir Arnold J. Ilag-Ilag. Yan! Back to basic na ako. Thank you very much, Sir RJ. Kung nasaan ka man ngayon, sana masaya ka sa buhay mo. Charot lang. Sana nakakakain ka, nakakainom ka ng tubig. De, joke lang bitaw. Well, anyway, to move on, let's have a photo opportunity to be guided by our CTE-CSG treasurer, Sir Darrell Idyong. And I am encouraging everyone to kindly open your cameras.
Okay, I will be the voice of our treasurer. So he will be taking the screenshot and I will be
All
the
right.
one who would inform you. Okay, first slide together with Sir Jerome. Please show us your beautiful smiles, okay? Dar, kindly confirm. Dar. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Dalawa lang po ang slide natin. So, next. And 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, all done and documented po.
All right. Thank you very much, Mami EJ, for the assistance. At yun na po yun. That's a wrap for our 5th webinar, Building an Analytical Mindset, Maximizing Online Resources for Effective Pedagogical Research in 21st Century. And this concludes our 5th topic for the hashtag EduKumustahan 2023 joint webinar series. However, we hope that the information we learned from our excellent speaker today will serve as a guide in our daily life. Ito po ang inyong lingkod host, Miss Amy Jean Godalkiver, a believer of what is worth doing is worth living. Have a safe day and may God bless your purposeful journey. See ya sa webinar 6, Amping Mga Ga!
Thank you so much. Thank you. Para may
Thank you,
kaboses si
sir.
Miss Amy Jean na broadcaster. I am just, I'm just thinking kung sinong broadcaster yun na kaboses niya and on how she presents it.
Ay,
Isip ko lang talaga.
thank you, sir. Kinikilig po ako. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you po.
Thank you so much, sir.
Asher, thank you, Sir Runner. Thank you.
Okay.
I am praying for the success of everyone, especially to the graduating students. I am praying that they may pass the LEPT and to become a successful teacher. The same thing with all of the students at the College of Teacher Education. Wishing you all the best. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir.
Maraming salamat,
Thank you
sir.
so much, sir. God bless you po.